To be qualified, classed as an effective in the Army Reserve in 1913, you had to complete 16 full days training. If you went to a night parade, you were given a quarter of a day. If you went, say, on a Sunday afternoon, you were classed as having worked a half day. The quarters and the halves were added up. You could do full days, as in weekends, obviously 2 days. And each year there was an 8-day camp and a 17-day camp. And at the end of 12 months, all of your quarter days, half days and whole days and your camps had to add up to a minimum of 16. If you did that, then you got paid for the year. If you did extra, obviously you got paid for those extra days. Part of being in the Light Horse Army Reserve was that you had to provide your own horse. If you didn't bring your horse to training or to a camp, you were not allowed to be part of the unit. You had to go and work with the foot troops. You were given £1 per year for your horse if you completed 16 full days. If you were a private for 16 full days, you got £4 and 4 shillings. A corporal got £8 and 6 shillings, and a sergeant got £9, 14 shillings and 3 pennies. You received an extra 10 shillings a year if you were a married man. You received an extra 5 shillings a year for every child that you had. If you had a widowed mother, you were granted an extra 10 shillings for her as well. If you worked more than your 16 days, as a private you got 4 shillings a day, as a corporal you got 9 shillings a day, and as a sergeant you got 10 shillings and 6pence a day. So really that's not bad money back in those days. That pretty much covers the rate of pay. So when you think that your employer had to hold your job for you, in those days it was voluntary for your employer to still pay you, not compulsory, but it was seen as patriotic duty for your employer to pay you. You also have to think jobs were pretty boring and mundane, and people didn't have the same sort of adventures on weekends that we can have today. And so to be in the Light Horse Army Reserve would have been fantastic for young blokes, and they got paid quite decent money to do it. Especially if you think you went off on a 17-day camp on top of all your other night parades, you would have ended up with a very nice little yearly bonus. So this all stems